Hi friends, welcome to my humble homestead. My name is Trina. We're gonna do some processing today. Peachy Keen. We're gonna work on some peaches. Welcome back everybody. So today I have these peaches. I have a big bowl of these are seconds peaches. These are ones that have little bruises and dents in them. So my goal is to get these processed before I start work today. That's the goal. I had a little sleepover, minus the sleep, with my little grandson Peyton. So my goal was to get these done yesterday, but nope, that didn't happen. We did a lot of other things yesterday. So fun. I will post what we did in another video. I'll link it here if I already have it done. Otherwise, it'll be coming up. But right now, I don't have my table organized. I am sitting at my table because I'm wiped out and I have to do a full day of work yet today. So I normally would be standing in my kitchen doing it, but I just thought, you know what? I need to sit down and do this because I'm already tired and I have a big day ahead of me. I am going to do these peaches the easiest way I can, and I wanted to show you how I do easy peach canning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a very light, simple syrup in the canning jar. I'm not going to make it over on the stove, which is how we normally do it, but I'm going to make it in the jar and I'm going to let the sugar dissolve while I am peeling the peaches. And because I'm going to use the skin from the peaches to make a peach butter, I'm not going to blanch the peaches first because I don't mind that there's going to be a little bit of peach flesh left on the peach skins. I'm just going to do everything just as is. So that's going to be how I do it. And then I'm going to take the pits and I'm going to use the pits and I'm going to make a peach vinegar. So this is how I'm going to use every part of the peach, not waste anything. Because these are seconds, I do have my garbage right here because, you know, there are some little bad parts that I'm going to toss. If they're not too bad, I'll put them in my vinegar because I'll be straining that out. But there are some spots. I think these were box that got dropped is how I think that happened when I picked them up. That's kind of what they said. But I got them half off, so I took them. I'm like, I'll can them. I will take them. So it's a great way to get a discount on stuff. If you buy seconds, like for canning things, it works just fine. Let's get into this. How I'm going to make this syrup is I just took water and I got it really hot in here. And I'm just going to put a little bit of water at the bottom of I have a towel down, so if I drip, it's okay. At the bottom of the jar. And then I'm going to take, let me bring you down here. And then I'm going to take 1/4 cup of organic cane sugar. Mine might even be a little bit less because I don't mind even. These peaches are super sweet. So if it's just a tiny bit less, that's okay. So I'm going to put that in there. And then let me get something to stir it. That's one thing I forgot. And then I'm going to just stir this up till it dissolves a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to put just a little bit of lemon juice in there. Now the peaches, I have a big bowl, let me show you here, of water here. And I do have some lemon juice and a little tiny bit of citric acid. I don't have fruit fresh, so this is what I have and this is what I'm going to use. So when I peel the peaches, I'm going to keep them in this bowl. Now I'm going to take this jar and I'm just going to set it over on my counter over here. That will give me more room to free up here to peel and slice and all of that. So I'm going to do that with my 7-quart jars that I have here. Get the sugar dissolving. Now I don't have my water bath canner on because these are not going to be super hot jars. I've already cleaned and sterilized them. I washed them in water and vinegar, and then I also ran them through my dishwasher to sterilize them. That's just how I sterilize them. You do it however you like to. So they are all cleaned and sterilized. I'm going to get this taken care of, and then I will come back. I also washed my peaches in vinegar with a little bit of baking soda, just a tiny bit, to get, I don't know, I literally didn't know where to order peaches, but I was driving to meet my kids yesterday, and I saw a big fresh peach sign, and I was so thrilled. So that's why all of a sudden I got peaches. I wasn't anticipating doing these this weekend, but I was so happy to pick these up. So I don't know if they're organic. So I did want to, I soaked them pretty well in baking soda and then in vinegar, and then I rinsed them, and then yeah, that's how I did them. I just want to make sure I got as much off as I can. They look amazing. We've eaten some. Peyton and I had peaches and fresh cream because I got my dairy yesterday. They are so delicious. It's so sweet and juicy. What are you eating? Are you still tired? Are you still tired from your nap? Are you eating bananas? Are you eating broccoli? What are you eating?
This.
What is it?
Chocolate.
Chocolate. Do you want your chocolate milk?
It's peachy.
Peaches and cream. Ooh, delicious. We are having.
Look at the peach.
That's the cream.
Look, please.
So I'm excited to have these on my shelf and have some fresh canned peaches for the winter. So I'm going to get these processed. I'm going to get the simple sugar syrup, light sugar syrup in the jars. I'm going to get those up on the counter, just letting them dissolve. And then I'm going to get these peeled. I will come back and show you what we do next. See you soon. Okay, so now my bowl is full. So I am just going to take these peaches that I have here and put them in my jar. What I'm gonna do is fill up what I have and pack them as good as I can. The one thing when you do raw packed peaches is you wanna make sure you pack them nice and tight, as good as you can, because with raw packed, there tends to get more air bubbles. So we're certainly gonna wanna debubble them as well. And when they're canned, this is the difference about, you know, I'm trying to do it to save time because, like I said, I have to work today. I had a busy weekend. So I'm packing them in, and I will debubble them now, and I'm also going to debubble them right before I put them in the canner. So that's about good, because they tend to, the liquid will float up with the raw packed ones. So you don't always get as many peaches in as you do with the cooked, the blanched peaches. But you know what? A quart for me is going to be plenty. So I normally would take my rag and wipe off the edge right now. However, I'm going to debubble these again, and then I'm going to wipe off the rims really good to make sure I have no peach or sugar stuff. And then I will process these in my canner. I'll bring it to a boil and process them for 30 minutes because they are a quart jar. So I'm going to fill another one and then continue peeling and cutting up my peaches. So I'm just excited to have all these peaches for the winter, extra fresh fruit. See you in a bit when I did more. I just wanted to show you how I pack them in my jars. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, now that I got all my jars filled, I am going to go ahead and debubble these one more time just to make sure that we got all the air bubbles out. And then I left about a half inch of headspace in all 7 of my quart-sized jars here. And then I took a cloth with vinegar on it. I know that these have stuff on the rims because I just plopped them in with my hands. So I want to wipe these down really good to make sure I get a good seal. Make sure there's no sugar or little peach stuff on there. And then I'm going to put my lids on, and then the rings finger tight. On each of them. And then I am going to put these in my canner, which I don't have going yet. I just have some warm tap water in there, and I am putting a splash of vinegar in there, some extra mineral deposits from going on the outside of the jars. And I'm going to bring my canner up to a rolling boil, and then I'll set my timer for 30 minutes. You can check your ball canning or your whatever your canning instructions are. And I do have lemon juice in these, so we can do them in the water bath canner. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put those in there and process them. Now, look at all of these skins. And I was not shy about leaving, you know, some good fruit on there. And then if there is ever any real ripe spots like this here, there's extra fruit on there. I'm going to make some peach butter out of this. So stay tuned for that. And I do have some extra peaches in here that I couldn't fit in my jar. So I am going to take some of my fresh cream and those peaches. And if I need more, I have a whole nother big box of peaches. I'm going to make some peach dreamsicles. So stay tuned for that. See you in a bit. Welcome back, friends. So now I have my peaches processing in the canner, and I want to take these peach skins and make them into some peach butter. So I'm going to see if I can do this without making a mess and put them into my blender here with all the juices and the extra bits of fruit. Trying to be careful. All right, we got a good amount here. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna blend this up a little bit to make some room. because you know me, I like to do things the easy way. I want to make enough room so I can put the rest of my ingredients in here. So let me just mix this up. Just like that. Perfect. Then I want to take a lemon and I'm going to put some of the zest of the lemon in here. And that makes my house smell amazing too. And then I'm going to squeeze the juice of this lemon in here. Now I want to add some sugar. Now for this amount, I probably want to get 2 cups of sugar in there. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to fit it in there. Let's see. I'm using a 1/4 of a cup measuring. So I want to put 8 of these in here. And I know a lot of you would probably add more than that in this amount. However, these are really sweet peaches. I don't really like I try to not use a lot of sugar. And then a lot of you might say that's a lot of sugar. But then you have to realize that this is going to be a butter. So it's going to cook down. And then we're just going to use a little bit, you know, on toast or in yogurt. So here is 1.5 cups. I'll do 1 more and then we will mix. Okay. And then I'm going to blend this up I don't want to make it liquefy, but I want to just get everything nice and blended. And then I'm going to put it in my pot. And I'm going to cook it over a low medium heat on the stove for about 30 minutes till it gets the consistency I want. And then we're going to can it up. This is pretty close to the top. And that is it. So I'm just going to pour, you know, I might add a little bit of vanilla. I was thinking about doing a little vanilla extract. I may do that. I might take a little taste of it and see if I want to add that. But that's it. I'm just going to put it over a low to medium heat until it gets the consistency, and then I will come back and we will can it up. And that will be about the time that my peaches are done processing as well. See you in a bit. All about peaches are keen and doing them, processing them as easy and efficient as we can, and getting everything out of all parts of the peaches as we can. We'll also take these up to do them in a peach vinegar. Okay, friends, so there's one more thing I wanted to do before I had to wash out my blender. I want to make some peach dreamsicles. I have these popsicle molds, and I have a feeling it's going to make more than what I have here. So then I'm going to use some individual jars, and if whatever I've left over, I'll make individual servings of some homemade peach ice cream. Let's see. So I took the leftover peaches that I had in my bowl that didn't fit into my canning peaches. And to that, I'm going to add, I mean, they are so sweet. I'm literally just going to add 1/4 cup of sugar. I think that's going to be plenty. You can add whatever sweetener you want to that. And then for the piece de la resistance, I am adding some fresh cream from my raw dairy that I get. You can add whatever milk product you want. If you you don't have dairy, you can use a nut milk. Any kind of dairy you want. And so I'm just going to add, I'm just going to add about that much and see how it does. I'm going to blend it up and see what it looks like and if I need anything else, but let's just check it out here. And I think I'm actually going to add the rest of this cream because I have more cream to process. So I want it to be a nice, like, creamy consistency, and there we go, like that. Let's just throw the rest of it in. Whoop. Dropping things. And let's mix this up here. All right, so now I want to taste just to make sure, because, I didn't put very much sugar in there. I'm okay with that, but I just want to make sure because oh my gosh, I'm trying to rush because it's time for work. So let me see here. Let's see taste it here. I think it does need a little bit more sugar though. I'm gonna do another, oh my gosh, if I can get that open. Okay. I'm gonna do another 1/4 cup of sugar here. There we go. So it'll be a 1/2 of a cup for the whole thing. I think that's gonna be good. It's gonna make quite a bit. Oh yeah. I mean, it's still not too sweet. It's just enough. So I'm going to probably still need more. I'm going to start by filling these little jugs up here. So I'm going to fill these, keep these in the freezer. This is going to be a lot. So it's going to be awesome to have all these homemade fresh treats. And then I'm going to fill these up for little dreamsicle pops. Then if the kids come over, they can have little homemade popsicles, the dreamsicles. They're peach, made with fresh peaches. And then these will also go in the freezer. So another thing to use your peaches with. So fun, great. And if you have kids or grandkids, what a fun way. Or, I mean, if you just want a great dessert, healthy dessert. I try not to buy any like sugary treats in the stores at all. So this way, if I want something sweet, this is a great thing to have for me. I will make the vinegar a little bit later. I will be watching my jars and stuff process, and I will show you the rest later. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. See you in a bit. Okay, friends, welcome back. So I've got my peaches out of the oven, and this is the peach butter. I let it cook for about 35 to 40 minutes. And now I'm going to jar it up here into these jelly jars. See how many we get. And I'm going to once again bring my canner up. I'm going to leave about 1/2 to 1/4 inch of headspace. And I'm going to process these once the water's boiling for about 10 minutes in my canner. These, I did take a little tiny taste. It is amazing. So I'm very happy to have this peach butter here. I did get 2 pint jars here as well. I may have to go find some more 1/2 pints. I do have some tiny jelly jars, but I haven't sterilized them yet, so that's why I haven't gotten those yet. Trying to rush and get everything done here. This might work with these 2 pint size. This smells so good. It actually kind of smells buttery, which is yummy. Let's see if I'll get a whole pint here. Can she get a whole pint? Ooh, maybe. So close. Ooh, just gonna make it, everybody. Look at this. Perfect. And there's a little tiny bit at the bottom to scrape out. I think I'm gonna put that over some yogurt. So now let me debubble. Okay, friends, so I'm gonna debubble. Get all the air bubbles out of each of these. And then I will wipe them off with a cloth that has vinegar on it to make sure we don't have any sugar or anything on here. And then what I'm gonna do is scrape the bottom of this. I made another pot of yogurt here. So I'm gonna put some of this over some yogurt and have that as like a brunch. And I am gonna get these into the canner that is still hot from doing these peaches. And then I will get that back up to a full boil, and I will process these for 10 full minutes. And it has been quite a peachy day. So I have these, ooh, yeah, this is hot. I have the peaches, the peach butter. We made the peach dreamsicles. And then I'm gonna have a snack with this peach yogurt. And the last thing we'll do is the peach vinegar. So for these, I'm gonna use my 4 jar lids. Still working on getting you guys a code, but if you go to the 3 Rivers Every Bit Counts challenge, Jessica I know has a code, and there's a lot of other people that use these, and so far they've worked great for me. And then I will put my lids, my rings on, finger tight, and I will get these processing. All right, and when I'm done with that, we'll do the vinegar And then our day of peaches will be finito, be finished happily. All right, so let's finish off this day of peaches with using, these are the pits, and then there were just some parts that weren't perfect, and I threw them in there as well. You know, just enough of the flesh in here to make a little bit of flavor. So this is what I'm going to use to make some vinegar. And I'm just going to put about, an 1/8 of cup of sugar in here. These peaches are super sweet, so I don't really need a lot. So I'm going to put that in there, and then just some non-chlorinated water. So I'm going to fill that up here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a grape leaf. I washed it and I'm going to cover this with a grape leaf here. Kind of keeps the fruit down. And then I am just going to let this sit until this ferments. Now you can get that white mold on the top. Sometimes you get a little bit of mold as the SCOBY starts forming, but that's okay. You can just take that top layer off. A SCOBY might form at the bottom as well. That is all normal. So I'm just going to put this aside, and I am going to let this go. I probably will put a coffee filter with a binder across the top, keeps fruit flies out and things like that. That is how I do my peach vinegar. So we have our canned peaches, our peach butter, our peach vinegar, ice cream, and our dreamsicles. Welcome back. So here I am finishing up with my peaches that I have to preserve here. I am going to freeze the ones that need to be processed. Super easy way that I like to freeze them. I know a lot of people like to blanch and peel them first. I always like to save time. I don't care if the peelings are on them. I use them this way for baking and for smoothies. So what I've done so far is I have washed all of my peaches in water with vinegar. Then I've rinsed them in clean water. Then I slice them. So how I slice them is I just take a knife, and these are ripe peaches. If you don't have ripe peaches, you might want to let them ripe. And then I just slice them and open it, take the pit off. Now, if you do have any blemishes on them, you'll want to cut them off. These were the peaches that were the good ones. They were not the seconds. And then I literally just, let me move this handle out of the way. Then I literally just slice. Now, some people just freeze them in halves. For me, if I wanted to freeze them in halves, I would put them on a flat sheet and flash freeze them till they were pretty solid so they would stay good. And you could use these halves however you want. However, I just go ahead and I slice them, and then I throw them into a bowl with some, I have some lemon juice and water in there just to make sure they don't turn brown. And then I take these out and I put them on a towel. I put them in a strainer just to kind of get some of the extra juice out. And then I'm doing quart size bags in my freezer. I think that for me that's enough for a smoothie. And I am going to make a peach pie, and I'm going to use my peach pie that I made with a zucchini, my peach pie filling, but I am going to add some fresh peaches to it just because I have them, just to add a little bit of freshness to it. So I'm going to do that. This is already made up, has the pie filling mix in here. So I'm going to add the fresh peaches to it, and then just a little thickener, probably some arrowroot to it. And then I'm going to bake that in a pie filling and have that. I'll probably freeze half and then have half. So I do about this many in here. I have them labeled with a date. And then I will go ahead and freeze these just to have for frozen peaches. So that is how I am going to freeze these peaches. And then I just saved a few of them in my fridge for fresh eating. I've been really enjoying them in smoothies. I've been using my raw dairy in these, or milk kefir in these, and using them as smoothies, or I've been just slicing them over my yogurt, and it's been just wonderful. So that is how I'm going to finish out processing my peaches. I think that is pretty peachy keen for today. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Have a great day and be blessed. Bye.